Welcome back, Bantwana Benkosi. This is indeed Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. We turn now to that story, the painful story of the assassination, quite brutally, I must say, of witness D, who has been revealed to be Mr. van der Merwe there in Brakpan. I'm joined on the line by Yusuf Abramjee, who is with the ENCA. How are you, Yusuf?
Good morning, Doctor. All well. Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed. Well, you revealed over the weekend some communication you had with witness D. I thought maybe for the sake of our listeners, you could maybe spread that particular message. What was the conversation and what do you make of that conversation following his ordeal?
Let me first of all say I never knew who witness D was until late on Wednesday. We heard him at the commission. He was not identified. And unlike the Minister of Justice claiming that the media and the public named him before his assassination is completely untrue. In fact, even somebody in the know, I really didn't know who he was. So I received a message from him on Wednesday via Facebook Messenger. And the message, the long and short of it was, he wants to speak about illicit mining activities, I would assume on the East Rand where he was active. And he said that he wants to talk about what he called state involvement. I then gave him a call and we had about 3 or 4 calls. And I said to him, Marius, what do you want to talk about? He said, no, give me an opportunity to come on your TV station to talk about how the corruption is rife and who's involved, because you posted a photo and a video and you mentioned a security company closed holes of Zamazamas near the racetrack. And he said to me, I can confirm I was the one, but no people were trapped. And we know in that particular operation that he headed, 1 or 2 bodies were pulled out from that particular mine shaft. I then said to him, but Marius, how do we interview you for television? It's difficult when you don't want to reveal your name and you witness D and we can't show your face. And he said to me, no, I'm happy for you to interview me showing my face. I'll give you my name on air. And I don't have time because I might be shot and I might be gunned down over the next few days. And I said, what do you mean? Shot by whom? He said, no, I'll tell you, my life is at risk, but I'll reveal it all in the interview. We then decided, doctor, to arrange the interview for Thursday. He then had a doctor's appointment, a medical, he told me, at 2 o'clock on Thursday. He couldn't do Thursday evening because he told me that his mom was in hospital and he had to visit her. We then agreed to reschedule the interview for Monday, and Friday night, just after 8 o'clock or so, we received the news that he was gunned down outside his Brakpan home. So that is the context in which that we know of. But I must place on record that we've been flooded with phone calls over the past few days. If you know Marius van der Merwe and his background, he was very, very active within the security industry. Many of his colleagues call him a cowboy. Some of them call him a rogue security officer. Some of them say he was no angel. Others are saying that we are making a hero out of somebody who was really involved in criminality. And he was a suspect. Because you remember, Doc, at the Madlanga Commission, witness D was the one that said that he had to go and dispose of a body on the instruction, allegedly, of Julius Makenazi. He took the body, loaded it into his bakkie, went to a dam on the outskirts of Nigel, dumped the body on the shore, and he then gave a statement to IPID. But up to today, no one has been charged for that particular murder of that suspect that where they allegedly confiscated goods. We also know that Marius was active initially on the West Rand. You remember the incident just outside Krugersdorp where a number of women were raped by Zamazamas. He was one of the people to arrive there first at the scene. He went in all alone, wanting to take on the Zamazamas. He then received threats, and then he relocated to the East Rand, and he was then fighting the illegal miners in this area with almost sole-handedly. Because we know that he had a security company. And we know, I don't have to tell you, Doc, the Zamazamas, the illegal mining operations are extremely dangerous. I've been with police and EMPD and other officials on a number of occasions. We know how brazen and how daring these Zamazamas are. They open fire with AK-47s. They use rifles. They simply shoot people. And they even use explosives while police are busy with operations underground, digging for gold. And we know that what happened in Stilfontein, and we know some of the activities. So whether the motive was illegal mining or whether it was linked to the Madlanga Commission, that is for police to establish. But from what he wanted to talk about was the corrupt and the illegal activities being run by officials within government, as he put it, as far as illegal mining is concerned.
Yusuf, do we know what goods, or in the words of Mr. Mkhwanazi, the stock that supposedly was carried by this person whose body had to be buried or made to disappear? Do we know what are the goods? Are there any reports that are coming out in any way, confirmed or not? What was that operation's concern, and what were the goods that related to this entire operation, which then resulted into this person being killed and whose body having to be disposed of?
Well, we know as a matter of fact that a number of security officials and security companies were working with EMPD here on the East Rand, following up on truck hijackings, following up on warehouse robberies. And that is where the name of many of these individuals have come in. There was an allegation at one stage that many of these robberies and investigations, when police and EMPD pounced on them under the command of allegedly Julius Makonazi, much of the stock disappeared. Some of the stock was sold back to some of the people from which it was stolen. And a lot of these allegations have made the rounds. We even know at the Madlanga Commission, we heard about copper theft and how the stock ended up in the wrong hands and that type of thing. So a lot of those allegations have been made. And I know, as far as the other one is concerned with the disposing of the body and this particular suspect, IPID was investigating this case since 2021, 2022. And I just heard this morning there seems to be some progress now following the murder of Marius, and they may be on the brink of even making arrests as early as today. So it seems to me that the authorities are only jumping up now. And the big question, like I've said repeatedly, Doctor, is that if it wasn't for Lieutenant General Makonazi, the KZN Commissioner, we wouldn't have been where we are today. The rot would have continued. And we know the EMPD specifically here on the East Rand has been implicated in a lot of wrongdoing. And yes, I'm surprised that up to now, aside from one or two suspensions of officials, no arrests have been made. It's clearly a rogue unit that was involved in criminality. And I think that is why Marius got himself involved because at the time he was busy with his operations with the EMPD officials. And this is how his name came to the fore. But he clearly had some information. He clearly feared for his life. And I think that's the reality of where we are sitting now, to say what was the big motive behind his assassination. And again, I've said it before, this past weekend alone, since Marius was gunned down, I received a number of calls from senior police officials who are saying that they're investigating criminal cases. People were supposed to come and testify. They're now fearing for their lives because of what happened to Marius. So I think whistleblowers are now really running away, knowing what happened to Marius.
And maybe perhaps before I let you go, the final question around the Marius actually named people, including some of the private security operatives on the one hand, and on the other,
yes,
more EMPD people. And the common name that came out is a character called Hanegom, which actually Mkhwanazi on the scene, during his testimony, that's the EMPD Mkhwanazi says Hanegom was some informant and is the person that from whom he received the call about coming to the scene. Those individuals that were clearly named, and taking into consideration, and you can confirm this, that he had already survived 2 assassination attempts. Are the police in any way questioning these people that he named at the commission?
Well, interestingly enough, I just heard now that Hanacom was shot dead shortly after that particular incident a year or two ago. So he was also taken out. I'm even told that one or two of the other people implicated, private security people, are now claiming they're fearing for their lives. They've been receiving death threats. They claim they're also on the hit list. So whatever the motive is and who's behind it, it seems to me this is a broader issue at play here. And that is why the quicker the police move with this particular investigation, the better it will be. But clearly the police have not done their job over the years. The IPID has failed South Africans hopelessly. And had they acted decisively, we wouldn't have been today where we're mourning the death of another whistleblower. And whether Marius was involved or not, that's a separate debate and a separate discussion. The reality is he was taken out. And let's also not forget, Doc, there was an attempt on his life in September. It was here in Brakpan where we revealed details the weekend where he opened a case of attempted murder, men in a white bakkie. Interestingly enough, also men in a white bakkie shot at him and killed him on Friday evening. That is now the subject of the investigation. He opened an attempted murder charge. And the big question is, police said they never knew there was an attempt on his life, although a charge has been opened, which raises a lot of questions on its own. What happened to that particular one, no one knows. There's also an allegation we heard the weekend that he was offered witness protection. He refused it. Whether that's true or not, we don't know because he's no more. But I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered here. And I see that the National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masimola, is visiting Brakpan today, possibly speaking to the family. And it again raises the questions, is it not a bit too late?
Yusuf,
why did police not act decisively?
Please, the key in my view, find out what were the goods that were in that truck which Mukanazi was describing. And that may be the key to this entire thing. If it is confirmed...
Can I give you a bit of a lead? Tune into ENCA, and I'm punting ENCA tonight. We'll be speaking to some people who were implicated at the commission and some people within the security industry were involved in that operation, and they're going to spill the beans.
Okay, we'll look forward to that indeed. Thank you so much, Yusuf. I know we had promised us 10 minutes and I've kept you for 12.
Thank you very much,
kind.
Doctor.
Thank you. That's Yusuf Abramjee, Bantwana Benkosi. I'm joined as well by Dr. Simon Howell. Welcome to Power Talk, Doc. Thanks so much for creating time.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning indeed. So before maybe just the legal implications of the testimony, that's my first question to you. Now that Mr. van der Merwe has died, what are the implications on the testimony that he has left on the record with Madlanga Commission? Can it be used to reach any conclusion, including also in a court of law?
Well, it somewhat depends. So this is the problem with commissions of inquiry. So commissions are not a part of the criminal justice system per se, and they aim to reveal things in an evidenced way and the like, but they're not subject to the same format as a criminal justice investigation, for instance. So whether the information can be used or not, typically I sense from past experience or past commissions that it will be used internally and it will stand internally. However, a criminal justice investigation into the same matter is an entirely separate undertaking, which would have to be undertaken by the various people at that specific point. So it really depends on the context. It could be used, but I sense that any criminal justice investigation would utilize it in a separate and alternative manner, from gathering it themselves.
What is its status at the moment in the Madlanga Commission, so that we appreciate moving forward what happens to people who testify? He had not been cross-examined by those he named. What difficulties does that reveal for any conclusions that the commission might get? Can they cross-examine those people in his absence? What is its status in the Madlanga Commission? We just want to understand, because if the rest of the other people who have testified there get killed in the manner that he did, what will happen to that commission? Is it in any position, as it were, to reach conclusions? Can you use the example of Van der Merwe to speculate of the legal standing of his testimony following his assassination?
Well, based on the press release that the commission made straight after, or the morning after the death, they indicated that it will remain on record and that they will utilize it. Now, of course, as you mentioned, the problem is that it can be used to question people, but there's no one to defend it from in a cross-examination situation. So in this instance, I sense what it will be used for as a platform or for a means of digging further. So it's an entry point into trying to understand or to find evidence from people who can be cross-examined as to what has happened. Now, of course, in this instance, the specific instance, it's to deal with high-level individuals within the NPD. And as such, I sense that what will occur is that it will be used as a founding instance or as a means of delving into the problem, but they're going to have to find other evidence to actively cross-examine people because, as you mentioned, you need someone to do the cross-examination.
Okay, and the crime itself, somebody being eliminated in the manner he has, have you in any way reached some form of intelligible speculation as to what could the reasons be between whether the operations of the Zamazamas in illegal mining on the one hand, and on the other, the activities that he actually testified about, which is this police operation and the getting rid of the body?
Well, I try not to speculate too much, but I sense what has happened is we first need to understand that he undertook and engaged with very dangerous people and undertook very dangerous tasks. And that is on the record. So we know that. But I sense in this instance what has happened is that he has implicated senior individuals of extrajudicial killings or extrajudicial torture at the very minimum. Now, that has significant consequences, both within the commission itself in terms of the governance of South African police services, or not the South African police service, but, policing organizations, as well as criminal implications for the individuals who are noted because, it's against the law to commit torture and to kill people. So there are those implications which are significant to specific individuals who were outlined. Now, I don't want to mention those individuals, but they would then have a reason to keep someone quiet or to make sure that they can't continue to testify in this vein, especially if they are withholding further evidence, or they know they have further evidence which will further implicate them. So I sense that is ultimately the underlying force behind all of this. But again, we have to wait for the evidence to come out. This is just trying to triangulate who would do what, depending on what information has been made available to the public.
And there is a legitimate complaint, a legitimate fear by witnesses who are testifying against the police. If Van der Merwe refused witness protection from, it would have been obviously provided by the state. Because he's testifying against key and influential people within the state, it makes sense that he would, as it were, say, but that may as well be myself handing over my life to the people I'm accusing. Under those circumstances, could a witness protection be conceived in any more different way?
Well, it's difficult. So the problem is, one of the key points of the commission is to show how organized crime has become entrenched within the governance apparatus of the state, and especially around policing. So now, witness protection as a function of being in the same domain is subject to the same powers that be. So, in this instance, the question really is witness protection as a scheme or as a framework sufficiently different and insulated from the workings of government and the corruption of government so as to act independently and effectively for people who are under its guise or under its service? I sense that this is a problem, and I think this is why Van der Merwe did not choose to have witness protection, is because you can't ask witness protection to protect you from the very same people who are offering the service who are actually threatening you. It doesn't work like that. So I sense that witness protection has been undermined as a whole. That's not to say that it can't provide protection or that it shouldn't provide protection, but rather that as much like other parts of government have been undermined by criminal organizations or organized criminal elements, I sense witness protection may fall into the same basket, and as such, its independence has been and its effectiveness has been undermined as well. That being said, the program was essentially set up as a reactionary type of rather than anticipatory body, and it's meant to deal with criminal justice concerns rather than a commission of inquiry concerns. So, I think more forethought needs to have gone into how to actually protect witnesses in a context beyond the criminal justice framework, such as the commission of inquiry, and to effectively provide some form of protection and safety for people.
I don't know if you've heard side of the amendment bill on whistleblower protection, which witness protection amendment bill that the Department of Justice has tabled. Do you think, or have you picked up any concrete proposal for the improvement that might result into something that happened to Mr. van der Merwe not ever occurring again?
Well, the problem with witness protection is that even if you offer the service, or even if it's offered to people, people may not take up on it because it is fundamentally disruptive to your entire life. It's not something easy to do or easy to engage with as the person who needs protection. So many people choose not to because, frankly, you have to upend your entire life and cut all ties with everyone, and it's very difficult to do. So even if the service is offered in an exemplary manner, you will find that people may not take it up simply because it just undermines their life too much. So there's always that problem. You can command people to enter into witness protection, but even then it doesn't work that well. So I sense that whatever changes are made, the key point here is that there needs to be a relationship and a trusting relationship between what is offered and the people who are offering it and the people who need it, so as that they feel that when they enter into witness protection, it justifies completely upending their life. There's no point doing that if you don't completely trust the institution that you're giving your life to, because otherwise there's no point, completely undermining your life as it exists normally. And that's the biggest issue. Much like policing more broadly, it's a matter of trust, and a matter of trust between the service that is offered and the people who need it.
Okay. Dr. Simon Howell, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for creating time.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. It's 10:30, Bantwana Benkosi. We are still waiting for that opening address by the president of the ANC, Matamela Ramaphosa, and we're keeping tabs on it. We'll try take you there as soon as he begins. But this is Power Talk. If you've just joined us with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, here on Power 987, we're going to take the news with Nhlanhla Sihumi.